Hello, this is Greg Berzinsky for Beardbrand, and today we're going to tame the beast. So this video is about trimming my mustache, and I'm going to get right into it. I'm just using a regular Beardbrand comb. I like the smaller end on this comb, and I like a longer comb when I'm trimming my mustache so my hand isn't necessarily blocking the view of my mustache, and hold the comb at a longer end, and so I can cut it that way. And my Beardbrand scissors. And so it's pretty straightforward. I know that beard trimming can be quite daunting, and mustache trimming is the same way. Beard trimming, you can hide some of the things in curls, and you can, if you have any amount of length, you can always come back and trim it a little bit later. With your mustache, once you make those cuts, you're stuck with those cuts for a bit. So this is something that you might want to do with the aid of your barber or stylist, and so have someone else do it for you, or even have someone who's close to you just make some of those initial cuts. So like I said, I'm going to section off the hair here, 1/3 of it making up the curls. You can see those hairs are fairly long and consistently long. I'm trying to get them more all one length to thicken up the edge of the curl. And so in this zone here, this is the area that I'm going to cut. And if you watch my eyebrow cutting clip, I had pulled my eyebrows to the center to cut them. I do a similar thing with my mustache. I will take the hairs and push them towards the center of my lip and then make those cuts. So like I said, I'm taking the area that I want to maintain, pushing that to the side, and then taking the area in the middle. And I'm going to do it on a tapered end. I don't want to have short and then all of a sudden long. So I'm going to do shortest at the center of the lip and gradually get longer. And that's one of the reasons I push it towards the center here. And you can see I'm taking 1/16 of an inch off, no more than 1/8 of an inch with each of these cuts. Seeing how it is, pulling hair in a different direction to kind of, get a softer edge on that cut. You can see that's already revealing my lower lip. And I'm going to continue to go into that a little more. And reaching down a little further without taking that bottom third in my mustache. So when I cut that in this direction, when I move it back in this direction, it's more of a feathered and it's less of a harsh edge. When you look at that, you can't see that I took a hard cut to that. So I'm going to leave that at this point, and now I'm going to trim the other side. Then we'll come back, we'll take inventory, and then I'll decide if I want to cut a little more off of this. Once again, tiny snips at a time. This is not the area, like when you have a really long beard, so you have a yeared and you know it's going to go shorter, you can take off 3 or 4 inches. With a mustache, you're looking at hairs that might be no longer than 1.5 inches, and the difference between 1/4 of an inch on a bad cut is noticeable. And so taking those small snips is probably the best thing to do. I can already see that this is better because I can see my mouth, I can see my lip, and I think I'm going to go just a little bit shorter there. One thing I want to keep in mind is that I don't want a sharp line and then going down here. So once I get this area in the center above my lip, that 2/3 of my mustache where I want it, I'm going to pull just a slight amount of hairs into here to start just to do a little blending into the curl. But let me take a little more off of this. And right now I'm going to pull it down right in the center and just take a couple of stray hairs that I see. Okay, for now, that's as much as I'm going to go in the center of my mustache. And like I do with my beard, I can always come back tomorrow and look at it again. So now I'm going to try to do just a slight amount of blending to pull in that bottom third of the curl. So what I do is I take the entire mustache over, pushing it towards the center, and there's just some hairs right here, and I'm going to blend them in. And on this side. I'm trimming into this because I can see that those crazy hairs that I talk about growing in the wrong direction suddenly are peeking out, were hiding before. So that's what I'm going to do for now. Like I said, I will come back to this in a day or two and decide if I want to shorten it up. I've had what I sometimes consider a brush, where I get this really sharp, which is another way to cut it, to not feather it in as much. I have a little leftover mustache wax and styling balm from before, and what I'm going to do is add a little now, just to refresh the curl. What I do with my wax, if I'm not going to use a hair dryer to warm it up, I'll put it in my pant pocket, or I'll put it under my arm and to just warm up the wax a little bit. And so what I do if I'm not using a hair dryer, this is already quite warm from just being in my pant pocket. I will rub my finger on the wax to just get that a little warm. And then like I said before, I directly put it in my mustache when it's warmed up. The reason I'm doing this now is because I'm going to go in and cut the tips of my curls off. So now I think my curls are too long for as short as the center of my mustache is. And what I do is I always style my curls about generally how they're going to go in their most extreme form. And then I just go up to the tip and I clip off the tip. So I'm taking, probably took a 1/4 inch off there, and I will look at it again. And then I go to the other side. This side is considerably longer. What I'll do is just by feel, I'll pull them out, and I can feel that this side is still slightly longer, even without looking. I can just see that this is longer here. So I'll just pull that out a little bit. And then a trick that a lot of barbers will do is take the mustache, twirl it a little, and then trim off the end. And that will make the end a little softer. Sometimes I actually like the end of my mustache to be blunt. I don't want it to look like a string on the end, so I don't mind if it actually does look blunt. So that's it for now, and I will come back again in a day or so and take a look at this. I'll probably look at it closer in the mirror. Right now I'm about a foot away from the mirror, and it's hard to get a good angle from where I'm setting, and as well as with the camera. So I'll take a look closer, and I might go in and just trim some stray hairs that I see and decide if this is the length I want on the mustache. But I think this is where I think the beard is heading. This is probably the length of the mustache for, at least the next month or so. So give it a try. Comment below and tell us how you might trim your mustache, and if you use any of these techniques, I'd like to hear. And until next time, beard on.
Beardbrand is a premium men's grooming company with products not only for your beard, but also your hair and body. Do yourself a favor and head over to beardbrand.com and take care of yourself. Or you can stick around and watch a few more of our awesome videos.